Hi guys, Deanne here from Canada Abroad, and thanks so much for tuning in. Today we're just bringing you the latest update for the parent and grandparent sponsorship program. So this is anybody who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident and wishes to sponsor their parents or their grandparents to Canada for permanent residency. If you have looked at this previously, you probably know that it's almost like a lottery system at this stage. And if this is the first time you're looking at applying, welcome, but there's a lot to catch up on. So what happened back in 2020, there was what we called an interest to sponsor form that people had to go online and complete and submit. So basically you were expressing your interest to the Canadian government that you wanted to sponsor your parents or your grandparents. Then once you'd submitted that, they would randomly select a certain amount of people who had completed the forms and invite them to submit the applications for permanent residence. So not everybody who completed those forms was allowed to sponsor their parents or grandparents because there is a quota on the number of applications that they will accept. Then in 2021, they used the same pool of people from 2020, and they did it again in 2022 and 2023. Now we're in 2024 and they've just announced that they are going to do the same thing. So unless you completed that interest to sponsor form in 2020, you're not going to be eligible this year to fill out that form. They're still selecting sponsors who completed that form back in 2020. So if you're hoping to complete that form this year, they've announced that that's not going to be an option. So starting May 21st, 2024, they're going to start sending out invitations to sponsors to submit a full application for permanent residence. So that's going to be their part, which is the sponsorship part, and then the applicant part, which will be either their parent or parents or grandparent and grandparents. So they've announced that they'll send out 35,700 invitations to apply. And from that, they're hoping that they'll get a total of 20,000. Now, the reason that they are inviting more people, obviously, than applications are expecting is people completed these interest to sponsor forms back in 2020. And as you know, in order to qualify to sponsor your parents or your grandparents, you have to meet a low income cutoff. So usually what happens is a lot of people who completed those interest to sponsor forms, once they're actually invited to go ahead with the full application, they might not meet the new low income cutoff. So a lot of people who get invited are not able to submit the actual full application. So that's why they're inviting so many more people than applications that they're expecting. So for this year, anyone who receives that notification from ircc that they've been selected to submit a full application for sponsorship, they are going to have to check and confirm that they still meet that low income cutoff for this year. And if they don't, then they won't be able to go ahead with that application. Now, if you want to check out the latest guide and manuals for the 2024 applications, I have included the link in the description below. And once you receive a notification that you can go ahead and submit the application for permanent residence, these applications are going to go through the PR portal. So IRCC does have more than one type of portal. You might have something that's tied to a GC key. This one goes through the PR portal. So again, I've posted the link for that below so you are aware which portal to use. So again, they're not going to start sending those invitations out until the end or close to the end of the month. So you will just have to wait and see if you've been selected. And they are going to be sending the notifications through to whichever email address you use to complete that form back in 2020. So you're going to want to make sure that you do have access to that email address. So thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest Canadian immigration news and updates.